Good morning, fellas, and welcome back to Me Plays Games. My name is Matt, and upon defeating a gym leader in a Pokemon game, they reward you with a gym badge, and that's all well and good, but today I wanted to focus on their other prize, a TM. Let's take a look at a bunch of gym leader TMs, which ones are the best and worst, fun facts about them, all sorts of stuff. Alright, let's get started. Let's start off with the first gym leader in the Johto region, the flying type specialist Falconer. Most gym leaders give you a TM that matches their type specialty, but Falconer is one of the few exceptions. In Generation 2, Gold, Silver, and Crystal, he gives you the ground type move Mud Slap. But there's a couple reasons for that. For one, his Pidgey and Pidgeotto both know the move, and the other reason is, well, there were no flying type TMs in Gen 2. The only flying TM in Gen 1 was Sky Attack, but in Gen 2 it got replaced with Detect. Of course, we got remakes of these games in Gen 4, Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Gen 4 had 92 TMs compared to 50 in Gen 2. So there were a handful of moves to pick from now. In these games, Falconer gave you TM 40, Roost. That also just so happens to be the move Winona gives you in Generation 6 as well, in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. And it can be handy to have a healing move for your adventure, because you can save money on potions and whatnot. Besides Falconer, the other gym leader to give out a move of a type they don't specialize in is Brock. Despite being the rock type gym leader in Gen 1, Brock gives you the normal type move Bide, which is Onyx uses. And it's not even like you didn't have a choice, there is a rock type TM in Red, Blue, and Yellow. Who knows, maybe it's a balancing thing. It's possible the devs just didn't want to give you Rock Slide that early. Plus his own Pokemon don't actually know any rock type moves in this game. But wait, there's more! That's not the only time Brock is given out a normal type TM. In the Gen 7 remakes Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, Brock gives you Headbutt. But in every other game where he gives out a TM, it's a rock type one. In Fire Red Leaf Green, he gives you Rock Tomb, and he gives you Rock Slide in Heart Gold Soul Silver. That makes him the only gym leader to have 4 different prize TMs over the years. Next, let's look at another Kanto gym leader. Lieutenant Surge gives you the Thunderbolt TM in Gen 1, which is pretty good that early in the game. That's a 95 base power move you can teach to your Pokemon around level 25. No Pokemon gets to buy level up in Gen 1, except for your partner Pikachu in Pokemon Yellow. But for comparison, Flamethrower is a fire type move that's equally as strong, and Vulpix learns it the earliest by level up. In this game, it gets Flamethrower at level 35, so having a strong move like Thunderbolt earlier than that is really nice. Of course, Thunderbolt is a good move, but the mileage you get out of it is limited before the Elite Four. It would be great for Misty's Water Gym, but you would have already beaten her by the time you get Thunderbolt, and it's not super effective against any other gym leader's Pokemon. But your rival does stack his team with a bunch of flying types. He always has a Pidgeot, and depending on what starter you pick, he might also use a Gyarados and a Charizard. And of course, if he doesn't have a Gyarados, he'll have a Blastoise, which is also weak to electricity. So it's good for rival fights, and it's the best stab move you can get if you're using an electro type on your team. But other than that, it's not quite as broken as it might seem to get it so early. Plus, there weren't many electro TMs to pick from in the first place. But in the Elite Four, it can hit some of Lorelei, Agatha, Lance, and the Champion's Pokemon super effectively. But in Generation 3, Surge gives you Shockwave instead of Thunderbolt, which makes sense for a couple of reasons. There's a wider variety of moves in the remakes, so you're getting a weaker move you can use till you get Thunderbolt. Or Thunder if you're a masochist and love missing. Each generation adds new moves, which gives the devs more options to make a fair and balanced game. But the other reason he gives Shockwave is because of the Hoenn gym leaders. The Kanto and Hoenn regions have several gyms that share types. They both have Water, Electric, Fire, Psychic, and Rock gyms. And in Gen 3, the Kanto and Hoenn gym leaders with matching types also give out the same TM. Well, with one exception. Flannery gives you Overheat, but Blaine still gives you Fire Blast like he did in Gen 1. But other than that, they all match. Tate and Liza give you Calm Mind, so Sabrina does as well. We'll get back to them later. Roxanne and Brock both give you Rock Tomb, Watson and Surge give you Shockwave, and Wallace, Juan, and Misty all give you Water Pulse. I'm gonna be honest, Water Pulse might be one of the worst TMs you can get from a final gym. It's only 60 base power, and must I remind you we're in Hoenn? We needed a zillion water attacks to get here in the first place. If you're playing a Hoenn game, chances are you have a water type with Surf, which is significantly stronger. And on top of that, there are 2 other water HMs in this game. You got Dive in Moss Deep City, and the gym leader gives you Waterfall before you even fight him. Dive is equally as strong as Water Pulse, and Waterfall and Surf are way stronger, so you probably have no use for Water Pulse whatsoever. If I didn't know any better, I would think they gave this TM to Misty first, then Wallace after that, because at least Misty is the second gym leader. Water Pulse is a good early to mid-game move, which you can use till you gain access to Surf. So it makes sense for Misty to have it, but not so much the other guys. I think it'd be fun if Wallace and Juan gave you Rain Dance instead. One of the most underwhelming prize TMs is Mega Drain, which Erica gives you in Gens 1 and 7. It's only 40 power, and while the fact that it heals you is nice, it's still not a great move. Giga Drain was introduced in Gen 2 though, so that's Erica's prize in Gold, Silver, Crystal, Fire Red, Leaf Green, Heart Gold, and Soul Silver. In these games it's 60 base power, so a decent upgrade over Mega Drain. But then she went right back to giving you Mega Drain in the Let's Go games, because Giga Drain was no longer a TM. For more videos like this, subscribe to Me Plays Games, and check out my game show channel, My Prize Garage. I've got a bunch of Price is Right videos in the works for that channel, so check it out if that's your sort of thing. In Generation 5, the flying gym leader is Skyla, and she gives you maybe the best flying move for a typical playthrough, Acrobatics. It's a 55 power move that doubles in strength if you don't have a held item. Now I don't know about you, but when I'm playing through a Pokemon game normally, I rarely have any of my Pokemon hold items, cause like, you don't really need them if you're not doing a Nuzlocke or Solo Run or some other kind of challenge. The games are easy enough that you can get by without tracking down good items to use. And without an item, Acrobatics is the best flying move, in my humble onion. It's effectively 110 power, which is stronger than nearly every other flying move in the game. And the ones that do have more power have some sort of drawback. Brave Bird does recoil damage, no thanks. And Sky Attack takes 2 turns to execute. And even once it does charge up and you attack on the second turn, it can still miss. It's only got 90% accuracy. Granted, in Gen 5, Fly is still an HM, so there's a good chance you want to use that move on your flying type instead. But Acrobatics can be learned by quite a few Pokemon that can't fly, so it could be a good coverage option. But if you decide to walk everywhere, then Acrobatics is your best option for a stab move. Alright, let's circle back around to the Psychic Gym leaders next, because I could have sworn the move Psychic was a gift TM in a couple games. But nope, the only Psychic Gym leader to give out the move Psychic is Tulip in Gen 9. Prior to Scarlet and Violet, Psychic Gym leaders usually gave out Calm Mind. That was a TM of choice for Tate, Liza, and Olympia in all of their appearances, as well as Sabrina in Gens 3 and 7. Calm Mind is a great move in competitive play, and it might come in handy if you're doing a Nuzlocke or ROM hack. But it's not the greatest move for a regular playthrough. Your Pokemon gain effort value throughout your playthrough, but most trainers don't have any EVs. That means your stats are inherently better than most other Pokemon in the game. That means boosting moves are less valuable. Calm Mind is a good move in any context, but you probably won't usually need the stat boost in a normal playthrough. Sabrina's also given out a handful of other moves over the years. In Gen 4, she gave out Skill Swap, a move that swaps the user and target's abilities. That move kind of sucks in a playthrough where you're mostly doing single battles, but you know what sucks even more? Sideway for TM of choice in Gen 1. It's genuinely one of the worst moves in the game. Instead of following the regular damage formula, Sideway just did random damage, ranging from 1 HP to 1.5 times the user's level. That means even at level 100, Sideway will do up to 150 damage, but it's just as likely to do 1 damage. So saying this move is unreliable is an understatement. And guess what? It gets even worse. In Gens 1 through 5, Sidewave had 80% accuracy. Nowadays, it's 100% accurate, and it's still one of the worst moves in the game. Random damage moves are horrible any way you slice it. So Tulip takes the crown for the best Psychic-type TM easily. Psychic has been a bread and butter move for Psychic type since Gen 1. In Pokemon X and Y, Karina gives you the TM for Power Up Punch, a 40 power move that raises your attack by 1 stage. It's not the strongest move in the universe, but being able to attack and boost your stats at the same time is pretty handy, so you might consider running Power Up Punch alongside another fighting move. You can't access Mega Kangaskhan until the post-game, but Power Up Punch is a fantastic move for her. Mega Kangaskhan has the ability Parental Bond, which makes every move it uses hit twice, with the second hit having half the power of the first. This is better than moves simply doing 1.5 times damage, because a lot of moves have secondary effects. So if you teach Mega Kangaskhan Power Up Punch, the move will hit twice and give you 2 attack boosts in 1 turn. So it's basically Swords Dance on steroids. So Power Up Punch is a nice move for playing through the game, but it's absolutely busted on Kangaskhan. Thanks in part to this move, it's an absolute beast in competitive play. Next, let's take a look at Roark. And, side note, before you leave a comment telling me I mispronounced his name, I'm fairly certain Roark and Roark are both right. I just find myself pronouncing it this way because that's how this guy's last name is pronounced. MLB pitcher Tanner Roark. And I got into baseball before I got into Pokemon, so that's how I've always had the gym leader's name in my head. Anyway, Roark gives you Stealth Rock for beating him. That's another move that's great in competitive play, singles in particular, but not so much in a playthrough. Stealth Rock sets an entry hazard on the opponent's side of the field, and how much damage it does is based on how weak their Pokemon are to Rock. If they're neutral to Rock, it does 1/8 of their max health, but it can range from half their health if they're 4 times weak to Rocks, all the way down to 1/32 if they 4 times resist them. This is an incredible move competitively, because unlike AI trainers, humans usually switch out if they're in a bad matchup. If my opponent sends out a Grass type against my Water type, I might switch into a Flying type, since they resist Grass moves and can deal super effective damage in return. But if my opponent already set up Stealth Rock, my flying type is going to take a bunch of damage as it comes into battle. Entry hazards are really important, because you're going to do a lot of switching in competitive singles. So in every match, you have to consider how you're going to get hazards up, how to get rid of your opponent's hazards, how to keep your opponent from getting rid of your hazards, and so on and so on. Over the course of a match, a lot of Pokemon switch into battle multiple times, so rocks do a lot of damage in the long run. But most AI trainers don't switch their Pokemon out. They send one out, wait till they faint, then move on to the next one. Plus, most trainers don't have a full team of 6 Pokemon, so you don't get as much mileage out of Stealth Rocks in a Sinnoh playthrough. It's not a horrible move, but you can 1 or 2-shot a lot of Pokemon in playthroughs, whether you have Rocks up or not. Speaking of Sinnoh, Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl have the same gym leader TMs as Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, making them the only remakes to not change any. Which probably isn't too surprising, considering how the phrase Faithful Remake is burned into my skull, but hey. Well, that's all I got for today. Leave a comment and let me know if there's any topics you'd like to see a video about. I'll see you all next time. Good night, fellas. Sleep well.